Scientists who advise Maine's climate council say we can expect to see ocean levels rise anywhere from 1 to 3 feet over the next 25 years.
And it could be 3 to 9 feet higher by the end of the century. That may seem like a long way away, but for those whose job it is to plan for such eventualities, the time to act is now.
News Center Maine's Caroline LaCour went to South Portland to see how they are planning for when tides can't be held back.
We have been looking at, the impact of climate change on our coastline in particular.
Julie Rosenbach says, as sustainability director for the city of South Portland, she used to focus on plans to diminish the effects of climate change. But now she says that approach might be evolving to prepare for the inevitable.
The January storms really accelerated our efforts.
Rosenbach has been working with several state and federal partners to map out what a rising sea level might look like for the city.
We started with high water mark signs. We put them in 3 places in South Portland, at Willard Beach, at Bug Light Park.
Using baseline data from FEMA's flood maps, she's been able to map out what tides could look like at a new daily high tide, at the highest astronomical tide, or if a so-called 100-year storm hits Maine.
Sometime over the next 25 to 75 years, there is a very high probability that we are going to see 3.9 feet of sea level rise.
Looking at the results on paper might sound alarm bells, with some coastal homes threatened by high tide levels in the coming years.
So I feel like we can safely say that with a storm, the water is going to get to where the blue part is.
It's not something that is probably top of mind for Mainers, but maybe now it should be.
And not just for South Portland. Representatives from FEMA tell News Center Maine flood rate insurance maps for all of Cumberland and York counties are set to be updated and will go into effect in late June, giving more residents the opportunity to join group flood insurance.
It costs $2,400. However, FEMA pays for it for 3 years. The first 3 years are covered, no cost to the homeowner.
I think people were really appreciative that we have this information and that it's so clear. And at the same time, it's hard information to take in.
Looking towards the future, Rosenbach says now is the time to take what we know now and work towards preparedness for any possible damage coming our way.
But now we're talking about climate action and adaptation plans, because we know however much we're able to mitigate climate change, it's here, it's now.
That's Caroline LaCour reporting. FEMA's updated flood maps will go into effect on June 20th. Rosenbach says the city of South Portland will look into ways to prevent damage from rising tides in the coming year.